on top,
yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up? Happy Tuesday to everybody. April 22nd. Hope everyone's having a great day. I haven't had any action yet today. So I can't say what my day's doing yet, but I can tell you this. We got ourselves a card tonight. I added a couple spots here. Got a little busy, so I left a couple off the graphics here, but we are going to have ourselves a day. We got plenty of baseball action out there. We've got the NHL rolling back at it, and defending Stanley Cup champs will pop the top on their first game of the playoffs. Then we're going to finish it off with the NBA. I've got Memphis and OKC on the screen here, but I do think we're going to take a shot with this Lakers game to close things up. So we'll see. We'll see how it gets. Let me just double check something here. Let me double check. Yeah, I believe we're going to get there with this Lakers spot. Let me just check one more thing here. Bear with me. Yep. I'm ready to go. I hope you guys are as well. Had a nice day yesterday. Got in the black. That's the most important thing. It gets them angry when we start winning. In fact, when we keep winning, they get angry and spit nothing but nonsense. Excuses as to why they're not doing it. We are at a high water mark for what we're doing here with sports money. And this month has been pretty solid. Looking to keep it going here. 2 units yesterday. We had ourselves, a 5-3 day. Did cash the NHL parlay with Washington and Winnipeg for a plus 132. We got the under 6.5 in, that was a late ad. That was a late minute ad. The Capitals and Canadians. So a little double dipper there in that Washington series. Got a little sweaty. Montreal coming back and making it happen. What else we got out there? Detroit got us paid versus the Fathers, San Diego, Detroit. That was my favorite spot on the card I shared with you guys. And the over 7.5 in Miami. Cincinnati. Took a little bit to get there, but it got there. And then, of course, the under 7.5. 7-0. Sweaty again, but we had the numbers pegged yesterday when it came to baseball. Baseball continues to be good to us, the NHL as well. However, the Colorado Avalanche blew that game. And we did not cash the Avalanche, nor did we get the Nuggets, who lost the game 105-102. Close series in Denver and the Clippers now. A comeback win, and then a flat-out blowout loss. So NBA's underway, and we've got the first game will be the Bucks-Pacers that starts at 7 o'clock. Nothing there for me. Grizzlies Thunder, though, 7:30, and then 10 p.m. with the Timberwolves and Lakers. Baseball, I kind of screwed up the card here because I should have probably started with baseball. Of course, the Yankees and Guardians will get underway. Nice little over yesterday. Warren on the bump. That guy leaks runs. Last week, we were the only ones probably in the universe to cash that Tampa Bay team total over 2.5. I ran back to it today with the Guardians here. Warren. Why? Warren. Let's go. Cleveland out there to make it happen. They did beat the Yankees yesterday. The Reds and Marlins, as I mentioned, sneaky one that got there. There's a bunch of action I like here. A lot of 640 games. So we'll have to keep it moving. The two that we're going to peg, though, will be Seattle and Boston, Baltimore and Nationals. David Walsh looking for a home run bet today. I might have one of those for you. I think I do have one of those for you. As a matter of fact. Busy day here around sports money. Of course, Ramon Scott popped off at 9 a.m. as he does every single day. Giving you guys the morning steam. Followed it up. Sharpie and I ran the Balking Dead. Sharpie kicks it off, does the cape props. I followed up with the batter props. Let me tell you, they mad. They don't want to see collabs. Such a shame. Such a shame. We're here to help you guys win. Don't you forget it. The whole business is on exposure. They don't want you winning that money because then you don't need them. We're going to help you guys, teach you how to fish, because I want you guys to bring me back some fish. I want to see some winning bets. I want to share with you guys whatever it is I have that makes up that secret sauce. Phillies Mets 7-10. I got a strong lead to Philadelphia here. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. Sanchez on the bump against the Mets. We will have a big play here to finish her off with Texas and Oakland Athletics. Going to sneak in that Baltimore-Washington spot as well. Kind of two teams playing mediocre ball right now. I got a parlay. I got a 4-leg MLB parlay for everybody here tonight. 4 legs. Why? Well, because it's a 25-0 trend. We did cash the 20-0 trend yesterday with the Marlins. So why not take advantage of a 25-0 trend? Let me just check something here to make sure all signs point to go. And all sides do point to go. All sides point to go. Plus 455 parlay out there for Major League Baseball. So we've got to get to work because this clock is ticking. We don't have all day to do it. I'm trying to think of. I do want to give you a baseball prop here. Let me look at something real quick. Let me check something out here. You want a home run prop? I think I got one for you. I think I got one. In fact, I do. It's a little gun shy. Hang on. I think I'm going to give you guys. Let's pop off the show with the home run prop. Why not? Let's go to Yordan Alvarez, your daddy for the Houston Astros out there. And let's take a look at what the pricing is for this guy's home run prop. I want to get it in here too. Give it out. These are plays that I am making. I always thought that was so ridiculous to say, but I find as time has advanced here that I don't think a lot of people play the bets they're putting out there. So transparency is of the utmost importance here, and that is something I want to get involved with. So I'm going to get this action loaded up here. Let me see. Plus 285. Plus 285 for Yordan Alvarez to smack the top off the ball. And the reason I'm going with Yordan Alvarez is because of his familiarity when it comes to Bassett. He has seen Bassett a bunch, and he has dominated Bassett when he sees him. In fact, if you look at the numbers with this Bassett spot, let me look at the numbers. I looked at them earlier, getting ready to do the prop show. Let's see. I remember Yordan just missed the cut for me. So now I'll get a chance to circle back and get him in the game. Your daddy gets out there, takes on Bassett, and he does nothing but bash. In fact, if you look at the numbers here, Yordan Alvarez has 19 at-bats against Chris Bassett. He's got 8 hits, 5 home runs, 11 ribbies for a .421 batting average, one of the highest on the card tonight. Yordan Alvarez, .421, Yordan home run. We'll take advantage of that for just under plus 300, which is kind of tricky because I do like that Toronto spot. I just haven't officially pulled the trigger on it. So there you go. There's a Yordan Alvarez home run to pop us off. Might as well lay it down here with this 25-0 baseball parlay as well. We're kind of all over the map to start this thing out here, but I want to get some things in. For you guys here before time ticks on. So let's go through it. Kansas City, Minnesota, Los Angeles Angels, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'll fire this in a banner so we get that thing going across the bottom. This one's just simply that these teams are in that 25-0 trend. They all fit the mustard today. And, they're juicy. And what I didn't like about the overall process here was trying to get involved on the -1s. They were still juicy. It just didn't fit for me. So I figured out, fuck it. Let's get it all packed up, sandwiched in there. There's a lot of baseball parlay props out there across the sports books. And this one had a nice little boost on it to get me to a plus 455 over at DraftKings for this 4-legger. Nice part is they let you put a 250 on it. They don't have it limited yet. Now, they might limit us after today, but they haven't limited us yet, and we will take advantage here. So that's how we're going to pop the show off. A home run prop and a 4-leg RBI or a 4-leg parlay. Just win them, boys. Kansas City, Minnesota, LA, and Arizona at plus 455. How about that? How's that work for you guys? Huh? Let's get her going. Big week ahead. Got some golf to get ready for out there. We've got the Zurich Open to prep for PGA golf plays out there. Again, Jeff came off a big week there, plus 900s, plus 500s, plus 400s. I got a couple plus 150s and plus 130s, but it ain't nothing. We don't even consider plus money unless they're 250s or higher. So we got that stuff going in the group. We got to get that rugby content out there for you guys here. I don't know if you've been following along, but them boys are 6-0 now in their last 3 weeks. They're seeing the board clearly. We want to take advantage of the overnight waking cash opportunities. And that's going to do it. That's going to do it for right now. Tomorrow will be First Strike. Of course, VB, MMA, and Ramon Scott have gone out there and done the first leg of our 3-part UFC shows and series around here. Part 1's the VB Ramon Scott show. Part 2's First Strike. Part 3 is the UFC playbook, which has been updated for the week. Got to get our plays in there for you guys. So getting the band back together. Saturday, we will strike and strike hard to end the month of April, at least from a UFC perspective. And we got a nice little card. Should be a nice little Kansas City UFC card with some really nice plus money spots that I already saw, including the main event. May have to just get in there and take that plus money before it goes away. And it's going to be a lot of fun because we'll have the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, and Major League Baseball going along the way to get us paid. Let's get to it, though. You guys know the deal. We are viewer supported. The comments mean a ton. You guys are doing a great job with the comments after the show. I just want to count that out there. I think we had 23 comments as of yesterday's post-show. It angers them. They don't know how to get you to hit the like button, and you guys are willing to come back after the show and drop in a thought, a comment, a thumbs up, a favorite bet, and any big cashers that you guys have gotten along the way. So it helps us age this material. I shared with you guys before. Sports betting content's tough because without getting it out there in a couple days in advance, it's kind of one and done. So it's hard to gain credibility across the YouTube universe without actually having things that can age, where people can click on them 2 or 3 days later. Who the hell's clicking on something 2 or 3 days later? Unless you're going back to say, hey, did Mike say that he thought Toronto would win the Stanley Cup? Yeah, at the start of the season, I did. At the start of the season, I did. It was out there. Boy, there's a lot out there, too. Let me see what's going on here. Let me look at this real quick here. Things are coming in fast and furious here as the day is rolling on. Okay. Maybe we get a play for the 7 o'clock NBA game. Let's see. Late updates today. Everything is coming across the pike very, very late. Okay. It's that time of the show, guys. Like I said, 6:40. Baseball will pop off. Maybe we'll throw it a little out of order. Maybe we'll pop off with those games first. What the hell? Throw the order out the window today. Really make it confusing for anybody that wants to come back and check the show out late. Before we do anything, though, the most important thing you can do for us is hit that thumbs up button. The comments after the shows are awesome. Getting the subscriptions, gifted memberships. And look, $39.95 gets you a best bet. One play from a lot of different sites. Some of them even have a discount day. Every day, $5 gets you guys upgraded to get a full month of premium plays out there. And you know when they come along. They come along during afternoon baseball. They come along through late night sessions. They come along on Saturdays and Sundays before we actually have live shows out there. So you haven't missed anything yet. Nothing was released yesterday. I should have released the under in that Boston spot, but I did not. I did not get there. However, it is thumbs up time. That is the most important thing you can do to help the show. If you take a second, close the comments, hit the thumbs up, pop it open. We'll get to work. It's getting a sharp, respected, better report as I was popping off there with the show. So I was a little distracted trying to process it as I was talking aloud. And this is some of that example, the tools and technology that we leverage to help you guys make informed betting decisions. Tools that we pay for. I know Ramon pays for a bunch of them. I pay for a bunch of them. And it helps us to give you guys what we think are these best plays today. All you got to worry about is getting paid. We'll go through the rest of it and get you guys there. So get that pen and paper ready because we're going to roll through this chat. We're going to check about these best bets. that our chat has shared with us. The chat is running oh so hot. All you guys have been firing off winners. I love to see it. That means that we are growing collectively. The rest of this industry doesn't like to see it. They don't want you to win. But we do here at Sports Money, and we want to start off with Jover giving us an over. The assault on unders reigns no bounds. It's going right back to it. It's going to the Yankees Guardians over 8.5. I left a ladder outside before the show started here for some house stuff I was doing, and I see some neighbors hawking it. So if I get up abruptly, it's because someone's stealing my ladder. I hope that's not the case. Let's go. Gerald Jones is out there. You got cashed his Clippers Nuggets under last night. Man, the unders have been slamming and jamming across the NBA's landscape here. 38-23 is our guy, Gerald Jones. And tonight, he's going to get in alignment with Jover. We got a little consensus here with these boys. Over 8.5. Joe Dubs in the house. Redbeard's here. Redbeard's giving Cleveland first 5. Marlins first 5. Sprinkle Alonso home run, I believe home run. I figured that's what you meant. I remember from earlier. I figured that's what you meant. Pete Alonso is an RBI spot that I locked in earlier today. And Redbeard's going in for the homer. Let's go, Redbeard. Although I think the Phillies win tonight, my friend. I'm sorry to say it. I am sorry to report it. But I think it's a Phillies bounce back spot. Kenny Wood. Bet the Lakers first quarter -2.5. Lakers are 25-10 since Luka joined them. After they lost game 1, they have to win tonight. Our guy Kenny Woods banging out that first quarter for the Lakers. I like it. Man, I'll tell you what you don't want. You don't want me on your first quarter bets. I don't believe in necessarily the jinx from a person being on him, but I just can't win them. My record shows I stink in the first quarter, so I'm going to write it down. I'm going to root for you, but I don't know if I can get there. The Groovy Alien Patrick's here. What's up, Patrick? Oldies up in the house. Trisha M. says, too much winning for Sports Money last night. Oops. Had a little Britney Spears out there. Oops. She did it again. Boy, speaking of Britney Spears, she is something. I'll say that. Man, some of those Instagram things that she puts out there, someone should take that phone out of her hand. David Walsh, you got your home run bet, my friend. Peter Grassi is here, ready to cash. Ron Young says, hi, all. Tonight's a good night. Some may even say the best night to make some money. I kind of blew that one, huh? Justin McCalvey says, sports money is money. And there's Redbeard giving you guys the Alonso homer. David Wallace, my friend. You got 2 of them now. Gerald Jones says the Yankees are up 1-0. Are they? In fact, they are. How about that? I forgot to set all my man, I was just between some of the early stuff today and then getting out in the yard and then coming back in. I forgot to set some reminders on, so I'm flying blind until I turn all my notifications on for baseball and the NHL. I don't put my notifications on for the NBA because I don't need quarterly updates on those guys. I don't need to see that they're going to blow the lead in the fourth quarter. Nicholas Handy, Jay Main's here. Gerald Jones likes the Diamondbacks run line, +115. My friend Keith is here. Says, let's have a night and fire winners. Redbeard's reminding everybody to hit that like button real quick. Gerald Jones says Tampa has only played 3 road games this season. They are 0-3. Front-loaded home games. Yep. That is correct. They will have, I think it's within the next 2 weeks, they'll have played 45 or 46% of their games at home already on the season. And yeah, kind of looked like some runs tonight. I'll tell you, I wanted to get in on the runs tonight for that game. The Sharp Perspective betting report came through and said the Sharps are betting the under. Most notably concerned, the books were for the Sharps betting the under in that game. So I pulled it off the board. I might put it back on later. We'll see how the line evolves. It is a late night game. Stop Geo's in the house. Giannis, Luka, both triple doubles for a +54.25. Comments during the show, shit talking before and after the show is appreciated. Unless you're going to put me on blast on Twitter and catch me by surprise. Then that's not okay. Nine Legacy says the Milwaukee Bucks money line's his best bet tonight. Shout out to Nine Legacy. Terry B says Joker wallet yesterday. He liked the Lakers first quarter. Redbeard's coming through. Gifted a sports money membership. So no Diet Coke, Frank. No, I ran out. But I'll cheers you nonetheless, because I will switch over to vodka later on. I'll get myself a Red Bull and vodka, and I will raise another glass in your honor, my friend Redbeard. Hey, if you get gifted this membership from Redbeard, think about going out there and upgrading for $5. That was why we set that figure. Why do you guys get gifted subs? We appreciate you gifting the subs if you haven't taken the time to upgrade or pay it forward. We're trying to build this community. We need all of you guys on board to help us do just that. Our voice should be loud. We should be proud of what's going on here. I know I am every day I come in here. I'm ready to roll. Nine Legacy says paid in full. Dog Parlay Nationals, Mariners, Padres, Texas Rangers, Miami Marlins for our guy Nine Legacy. We'll put that on the screen. There's Kelly D in the house. That is our number one commenter across our YouTube space, post-show, post-production. And I got a sneaky suspicion nobody will catch Kelly V, but I'd like to see somebody try. I'd like to see somebody. I'm going to tell you this. The only way you're going to do it is if you start leaving 2 comments. And a lot of times Kelly does that too. So shout out to Kelly V. She's got herself dodging. Carolina regulation. Tampa Bay minus 168 as a parlay. Okay, well, let's go. Like I said, we'll go out of order. I don't mind going out of order. I'm ready to roll regardless. We got this first game on deck here. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it here. We've got some action galore. Those 640 games make it really tough, though. And, I don't want to race to the window. We race to the window. It's like racing to catch a loser. Nobody wants to do that, so we're not going to do that. We've got Seattle and Boston, though. 6:45 p.m. out there in Boston. I'm sure Nasty Nate says the Red Sox are going to smash. We'll see if he's here. And if the Red Sox are going to smash, I bet you he would smash the Red Sox-Celtics parlay and feel pretty damn good about it. This Red Sox line opened up at minus 126. It has dropped to minus 120. And I'll tell you that the bigger bets are coming in on the Mariners. 65% of the bets are on the Red Sox. 38% of the cash. That means 68% of the cash. The identifier that we look for is that differential. Percentage of bets typically constitute our public. $5 tickets, $10 tickets, $1 tickets, parlays, teasers, props, all of that kind of rolls into the soup as the public or what constitutes all tickets being written. The percentage of money can differ. That's typically where we associate that with the sharper books, sharper bettors, I should say. Bigger bettors coming in. They don't care about parlays or teasers. They're just coming in smacking a spot. And in this case, that spot they're smacking is the Mariners. Are the Mariners. This total's got a ton of money coming in on the over. I'm going to tell you why. 95% of the bets and 92% of the cash on this over. Bunch of nines. Starting to see some nines with juice. Starting to see some 9.5s and some even and plus money spots out there. It's Bayo and Miller. Bayo will get his first start on the season with an 0-0, 0.0 ERA. And Miller will be rolling out there for these Mariners, these M's with that 3.43 ERA. 1-2, however. Just 1-2. Rolling into Fenway Park. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that the inconsistency of the bats on really both sides have kind of mired these two teams in. I mean, they're north of 500. Let's not forget, though, when the season started, one of the biggest favorite to come out of the AL East was the Boston Red Sox. Are the Boston Red Sox? I'm not sure. But they projected the Yankees to miss the playoffs. But I could see why. It's boom or bust for that Yankees spot. I don't know that they're going to miss the playoffs. That seems a little wacky. Jerry Davis says Bayo got hit up in Double-A, but Miller on the road is just average. Likes over 4.5 for the first 5. Well, I'll tell you this. We'll keep it moving. We'll keep a brisk pace. I'm on the over. I've got the over 9 in this game, and it was pretty simple opportunity for me. It's these two teams and the history when they play. Now, it doesn't hurt that, we've got Bayo who's been getting touched up. On the other side of things, we got a guy that's suspect on the road. And when you slap these two teams together, you put them in the pot, you boil them up, it speaks overs. When the total's over 7.5, right? So we talked about the key numbers, the 7s and the 9s particularly. When we're at 7 and when we're over 7.5, so they're going to get more than 7 runs. They do get more than 7 runs. 28 times these two teams have played. It's 24-4 to the over. It doesn't hurt that we have these sus pitchers on the bump. And we can take a shot with an over 9. I see 9.5. Like I said, even money. Me personally, I'd prefer to have the 9 in my back pocket here. Let me see what I'm going to lock down. 9.5 it is. 9.5 will be my official play for this Boston Celtics Seattle spot. I expect Bayo to get touched. I expect Miller to get touched. I expect this thing to cook as they do when Seattle and Boston get together head to head. Game number 1. We're going out of sequence. If you guys just joined in here, trying to get this afternoon, afternoon baseball underway before the pitches start, so you guys have some opportunities to go make these plays themselves. Close that down. Close that down. Okay. Let's roll on. Game number 2. 6:45 p.m. start as well. This is why we're going out of order. Baltimore Orioles, Washington Nationals will face off. These two teams are mired on the race to the middle. They're average at best. Baltimore Nationals. I will say, I'm a little surprised at the start the Nationals have had. It's a little better than I thought, and a lot of it comes down to their pitcher tonight in Parker. This line opened up with 62% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the Orioles. Crazy. Minus 118's gone to minus 130. Why is it crazy? Because of this pitching matchup. Then we look on the other side here, and the total's got 95% of the bets, 94% of the cash, zero movement. It's Kremer, and I think what's happening is the Sharps are expecting this guy to bounce back. He's got a 6.41 ERA. They're 2-2 in his starts. It's Parker that I want to get my money behind here because this guy has been pretty lights out. 1.85 ERA for this guy to start his season. And if that wasn't enough, I mean, if you just want to get into the actual metrics, if you want to geek out on some of these metrics, yeah, you have two average teams. You got to take a spot with these plus money spots when you get the opportunity. Parker, big start, lefty. Always get those lefties on the bump. I want to take them when they can get some plus money, if it makes sense, as long as it's not Patrick Corbin. 1 run or less in 3 of Mitchell Parker starts. With inconsistency of the bats of Baltimore, that will be problematic. Not going to overwhelm him with power. But, man, this guy's barrel rates and just some of the baseball savant numbers speak that Mitchell Parker is going to have himself a pretty big year. Now, will you think maybe mid-season that arm gets a little tired? It seems like Tommy John's. You're not cool if you don't have Tommy John surgery in Major League Baseball. Maybe that's the case, but the Orioles just stink against lefties. That's the trouble I'm having right now. Against Southpaws, they're a 184. That's good enough to be 29th in baseball. Their WOBA is 0.237. They're striking out at almost 28%. That's good enough to be 26th in Major League Baseball. And their ISO's almost dead last at 0.069. Not mad at anybody that wants to get involved in just the first 5 of this game. But I think the value really does lend to, getting involved with these guys. Just taking the thing is you're maximizing, you're going from a minus 105 or a minus 110 if you take the first 5 back in Parker and you add the full game to it. And I don't think these bullpens really have one side that stands out more than the other. Dean Kremer, I mentioned his 6.41 ERA. He's got a 5.78 FIP. That's brutal right now. And he's not any good on the road. Allowed 14 runs on 21 hits and 14 innings over 3 starts. He's not going 5. Now, if we talk about negative regression on the one side, it's still early in the season to be talking about. I think from a team perspective, you can say good teams that start poorly certainly can bounce back early in the season here. But the Nationals hitting the ball really well against righties here. 6th best in Major League Baseball when it comes to strikeout rate. That's good enough for me. I want the full game. I want the full game because that fact that they're 6th best in strikeout rate, they got a 9.9 walk rate, which is 8th best in Major League Baseball. Collectively, give me the most opportunity to exploit these right-handers, the majority of the pitchers, of course, being right-handed. I'm going to take this Nationals team. I'm going to take them at plus 120. How'll that be to start this thing off? The Nationals getting the Nats on our card. Man, I was really dragging behinds today to get to this point here. But I do like this National spot. I think it's a really good look. Those are going to be the 2 early games. Padres, Tigers, I really don't have. The under was 7.5. It has come down to 7. Shout out to you, Smoke. Shout out to Joe T. The Seattle over was almost my best bet. He likes it. All right. We collabed yesterday. Inadvertently collabed yesterday. Phillies, Mets. I told you guys, I think I like the Phillies here. We'll see what some of this game looks like. So I've given you guys that 4-leg parlay. I'll pop that back on the screen in case anybody's just getting in here. I've given you guys the Seattle over 9s. I got a 9.5. I'll take the 9.5. Grade me at a 9.5. Plus 102. Look at this line just moved. Seattle from plus 105 to minus 102s. And then Nationals at plus 120 and a 4-leg parlay out there. So what else we got? We might as well finish off this last baseball game. We're here. I'll leave that parlay on the screen for everybody for a minute. Big Scott in the house. What up, Big Scott? Says Nationals worst bullpen in Major League Baseball. Give me the first 5 so I don't have to worry about it. Is there a glaring gap or obvious nature that the Baltimore bullpen is any better? It's a lot of B's in there. I think the answer is no. To me, the answer is no. And because of their effectiveness against righties, I think whatever Baltimore does, Washington can match to get that thing done. But I respect it. Respect. I'm like following on Twitter, recapping your day, getting blindsided by a fucking bus. Texas Rangers and the Vegas A's. I'm calling them the Vegas A's. We got the Utah Mammoth. We got the Vegas A's. I don't care. What are you just going to call them? Oakland? The baseball team from the baseball team with no, I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. Doesn't even make sense. Texas Rangers, Oakland Athletics, Vegas Athletics here opened up at minus 130. It's Patrick Corbin Day. 56% of the bets, 69% of the cash are on the Oakland Athletics with a big number. Now, it's a big number for a couple of reasons, but I think the biggest factor, this ballpark. Now, this is probably another great look for an RB or for a home run spot. If you were going to go with a home run spot in this game, I think it's got to be Andahar. The league leader on the team for Oakland, Soderstrom. His home run is plus 405. He is banging the most of them out there. He's one spot ahead of Andahar. Andahar's plus 480. Plus 680, excuse me. 680. So risk return, big swing on this guy here to make it happen. And he's got a lot of success when it comes to batter versus pitching matchup out there. Big thing for me in this game has to do with recent performance. On both sides. Milwaukee thumped the Athletics the other day, 14-1. Now, that was 2 days ago, so the A's were traveling. They were in the White Sox. They were in Milwaukee. Now they're coming back home to an incredibly friendly ballpark for batters. Texas, on the other hand, look, we talked about Texas inconsistency. They went 1-2 in that series against the Dodgers. They got shut out twice, 3-0 and 1-0. They won 1-4-3. Now, are those tight games? I don't know. It's like watching paint dry, trying to figure out this Texas Rangers team out there. But this is just a batter situation that against the pitcher. It's Patrick Corbin. Of course, we want to. Patrick Corbin had a really strong day. I was talking with Sharpie earlier today about this. After the prop show there, we were shooting the shit a little bit and talking about Corbin was a favorite. He was probably catching that win, and he did. Beto for the Oakland Athletics. All right. I'm not going to isolate the first 5. This is more of the bounce back spot. How about this in baseball? Keep an eye on these. When a team gets thumped is defined by a double-digit loss, and they got game 1 of a new series next. That's the spot for Oakland. Sitting around thinking about how they got thumped. Those teams are 80 and 59. 80 and 59 suggest that Oakland is the spot tonight. It just intersects everything for me. I don't expect Corbin on the road to perform like he did the other day. I don't expect the A's to continue to get thumped like they are. They're in a hitter-friendly ballpark, and if anybody's going to get hit, it's got to be Corbin, and Major League Baseball says 80 and 59. Good enough for me to take advantage of the Oakland A's at a reasonably inexpensive price. I'll let you know this. Sharp, respected betting analysis came through. They are smacking the Oakland Athletics as well. And this is the late night special there for 10:05 start. So you got plenty of time to sit around, watch some Major League, watch some National Hockey League, watch some NBA, and then get back involved on the other side. Jerry Davis says the A's in the under, though. Jerry Davis in the house says the A's in the under. Kelly V says Oakland Wilson. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Total hits. Oh, total hits or total bases, I think is what you're asking there. Okay. I like the RBIs. They're plus money. Although, total bases definitely makes sense. You can get involved with some total bases. These guys can get a double. Pop 2 of them and you cash your over 1.5. Lickety split. All right. That's going to bring us to the end of baseball, Major League Baseball. Out of sequence today. Apologize to anybody joining us late. You'll have to go back and check it out. We do have a bunch of action out there. The other one that I was going to get involved with is going back to the Mets over. I don't know how many times I want to pump that well, but it was a little shaky yesterday for sure. But it got there at the end of the day. And problem I have right now and why I didn't quite get there on the card is 97% of the bets and 96% of the cash are on the over. It's almost like the secret is out. And once the secret's out, you don't want to be the last one thinking you got the secret anymore. Picking up what I'm putting down. You guys know what I'm saying? Kelly V is saying it's a dealer's choice. You pick what you like. 2 hits or total bases. Pick what you like out there for Wilson in Oakland against Corbin to make it happen. Let's move into the NHL. Let's make some NHL moves here. I'll tell you what the Sharps were betting. And they've been betting it since the official lines came out. Lots of action, though. We've got some interesting games here on the card. Ottawa and Toronto, the battle for Toronto. Or the battle of Ontario, I should say. What a game. What a game that last one was. Scoring, fighting, physical contact, players not knowing their roles when it comes to the Ottawa Senators side of things here. Look, I'm going to fall behind it here. I do still think Toronto, they're not going to be bad forever. They're not going to be one of those teams that struggles to get to that next rung of the playoff ladder here. It's either Tampa or Toronto that goes to the Eastern Conference Finals in my book. I do have a future on Toronto. And they're going to Stolars at 21-8-3, 2.14 goals against average. They'll roll Linus Ullmark back on the other side of things with a 2.72 goals against average, or at least he's the expected goaltender. Stolars, excellent in game 1, 31 of 33 saves, 94% saving. So you got a guy that's 92.6% in the season, rolls up to 94%. 7 straight W's, only 8 goals allowed across the pike, 96.1% saving in aggregate over that stretch. This guy has been on absolute fire. This is a problem for this Ottawa Senators team. Look, Brady Tkachuk, the most bet guy tonight to get a goal. Are they just betting the odds at this point? Are they just saying that at some point this guy's got to score? If this number continues to come down, I mean, we see this number sitting down around minus 150. This could just be an auto blind fire on Toronto again. I don't think Ottawa has the matchup. They're inexperienced. They're young players. They showed last game that they're more concerned about setting the tone and being physical, which I respect. I always used to like in a 7-game series, go out there and beat the shit out of this team physically. Wear them down, grind their gears, get in some of their players' heads. But you don't have enough depth in this Ottawa Senators team to follow that theory or strategy out there. 6-2 was the final. And I think that's exactly what we see from this Ottawa team, probably every stretch along the way. There's 6s out there today. I think what happens here is being the second game at home for Toronto, they're going to look to handle business. They're going to look to play defense. They're going to stay out of the shit. And I think at the same side, that's what killed Ottawa this past game. Stupid penalties. Increase in physical play leads to go into the box, and that gives one of the best teams on power plays in the Toronto Maple Leafs too much of an advantage. So what do? How do you go game script this thing? You try to split the first games at home, or first games of the series, right? So that when you go back home, you could potentially gain the lead in the series and win that first game back home. Toronto's not going to let that happen. They're going to play defense. They're going to play physical if you want to play physical, but they've got too much goaltending on their side not to get back involved in this thing here. And I don't think it was Ullmark that played an exceptionally terrible game. He was just left to be on too many odd man rushes and power play against him. Not a good situation to be in. I took the under 6. I rolled with the under 6 in this game. Sharp Perspective betting action came in on the under in this game. 3 games that they hammered. The under in Ottawa. I'm going back to it. I was on the under the other day. I'm going to go back to it again today. I like a bunch of under factors in this thing. I like unders for the only thing I like over is Allmark saves. Otherwise, everything else is an under to me. I like Ottawa's team total under. I kind of could see this is probably a little bit more of a stretch though. Is Toronto's team total under? I mean, if you look at the odds, it's 3.5 and it's juiced to the under at minus 145. They are suggesting this is going to be a lower scoring game. Even the big guys, Nylanders and Robertsons, are projected to have under their shots on goals. And I told you, everybody loves Tkachuk. Tkachuk at plus 230. Think about that. We're talking home run props for plus 300s. Brady Tkachuk, who's clearly one of the best in their team to do it, is priced at plus 230. It's a strange number considering it's playoff hockey. So I will take some under 6 action in Toronto and Ottawa. 7:30 start. I should have realized it was starting like that all along. Florida and Tampa Bay will pop off next. And a lot of people they're questioning, why is Florida starting tonight when everybody else is on their second game? You got to have some advantage if you're the Stanley Cup defending champions. They had a week to prep, a week to rest. They needed it. The likes of Matthew Tkachuk trying to get Marchand back into the line or adjusted into the lineup, getting the practice to get all these guys back together was really a big benefit for the Florida Panthers. So they come in fresh. And if you're Joe Public, you're looking at this thing going, well, Tampa just beat the shit out of these guys. Tampa wanted home ice. And I don't know that it, somebody asked me before, do you look at goaltenders on home versus road? No, I don't. The benefit of the home team, and frankly, I think the only aside from your home locker room, right? It's a little bigger. It's a little more spacious. You got all your shit inside there. You don't have to pack overnight bags. But you get the last change. Well, I think these two teams are pretty comparably matched. So last change really shouldn't make a difference unless they're going to try to get schemy and outcoach them from the Tampa Bay side of things here. It will be Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky in goal. So you got two of the aces up the hole going out there trying to make it happen. I guess there's a little bit of an advantage to the Vasilevsky side of things simply because he started the season late. He was dealing with some injury. Tampa Bay kind of started their season late because they had that hurricane that kind of flowed through town. Not kind of, but did. And 2.17 is Vasilevsky. 2.53 is Bobrovsky. Overall, I think, close series. The books aren't entirely sure. The Sharps are. And so am I. I think Florida comes away and gets this first game of the series. Sharp respected betting report came through. And they fired on the Florida Panthers. Florida, when I talk about the difference of being on the home or the road, it doesn't really make a difference. Whoa. Florida plays a lot of tight games. On the puck line, on the road, they're 27-14. So whether they're plus 1.5 or minus 1.5, they're winning those games. And yet at home, Tampa Bay finds themselves just 22-19. I get it. You're sitting there going, well, puck line, what does that have to do with? It's just an indicator of where they play hard. And 14-27 at home, they're favorites at home a lot. So you put them in a dog role as the defending Stanley Cup champ, and you're just disrespecting these guys. They'll be back to full strength. Everybody's on the ice. And you're going to get max effort from a rested defending Stanley Cup champ team ready to try to two-peat. I don't think it'll happen, and I don't think they win the series, but I think they'll sneak game one. I think Tampa's goal will be to get game two. Look, Tampa finished the series. They got shut out 4-0 to New York. They wanted that Florida win. They got it. It was 5-1. That is not indicative or any kind of an indicator. I think we see an over in this game. I think the goals are flying. I think there's a lot of talent on both sides, despite there being strong goaltending in both sides. But I like me some Florida Panthers. It was plus 110 when the Sharps started betting it. And they bet it down. They bet it down to, some plus 108s, some plus 105s. I think you got to look at, not that we use this as a big measuring stick that much, but 77% of the bets and 76% of the cash are on the Lightning. The line's come down 6 cents against them, 7 cents against them. That's a little sketch. That's a little sketch. I see you guys on Tampa. It'll be interesting to think about who won and who lost at the end of the day, because I certainly don't want to have to come back in here with my tail between my legs. But I think this will be a fun series. I do think Tampa Bay wins it. I do think, a good prop bet. Where's our girl Mel here to talk to us about the game one of the series versus who wins it? She's been taking game one of the series with the favorite and then the favorite to win the series. I think in this case, you could take Florida Panthers to win game 1 and then Tampa to win the series and get yourself a nice, probably plus 500 or plus 450 score. Jerry Davis says Seattle 1-0. Let's go. Let's go. Love this stuff starting when we're popping. What do we have left in the NHL? I know there's one big game with the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. That game was crazy. The -1.5 cash. You know, remember this. Vegas is that team. If they're winning, they're covered by the puck line at home. They barely got there with the puck skirting across the line with 0.1 seconds left on the clock. 11 p.m. too, so it is a super late one, which will start, today of days. They decide to try to stagger start these guys here, but the over also cashed in that situation. I'd go back to, what's Minnesota's team total under? They're just so juicy. I'd see if you can Asian line down or alternate line down like soccer, the Minnesota Wild to a 2. See if that gives you a little plus price tag here. I don't think they're going to match up well against these boys either. When you look at the net and who's starting, it is Gustafsson and Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill's got a 2.47 goals against average. Gustafsson, 2.59. Remember this. Remember this one. This is the stuff. They don't want you to know this because then you don't need anybody. They want your money. They don't want you to know that the team that's playing their first home game after a series in Vegas has over tendencies. Over tendencies. Think about that. Minnesota will be the home team after hosting or after a Vegas game. And that should be an over this next game. But I do think game 2 will lend to an under. I think these guys are looking to pack the bags up, get out of town. I don't think we're going to see a physical battle across the board on all these games here. I think this is just early in the playoffs. They got a lot of games to go. They got 6-7 weeks of playoff hockey under their belts here to get going, and game 2s aren't the time that you put it all on the line. And, it's not quite like the NBA. We know the NBA, these guys will quit, right? They had no problem quitting. Let me move over to the NBA. We'll talk about a couple of spots here. Obviously, the Bucks and Pacers will be popping off. With line movement against the Pacers, 56% of the bets and 52% of the cash have come in on the Pacers. The line's gone from 6.5 down to 4s. Big movement against the Pacers. Total's gone up from 226.5 to 229.5. Fast break points are the key. Teams that can go out there, zip off more fast break points than the other squad, find themselves winning, and they win at a pretty good clip. If you've had more fast break points than the other team, the last time you played them, they went over. So those fast break points are turning into buckets, and they're just happening in volume. Makes sense. You're turning the team over. You're scoring quickly. 23-8 are those teams straight up. 23-8 against the spread as well. Now, the margin on the spread's just under 5 points. So it's tight. The over in those fast break spots as well. So the game goes over the previous time. It runs back to the over. It's 20-10. The line movement says Bucks. That trend and the inefficiency in the matchup for the Bucks against the Pacers says Pacers. I don't have any play in that game. The Grizzlies and the Thunder I've got to play on. This line opened up at 13.5. It's moved to 14.5. Now, this one also qualifies for the fast break. All 3 of these games qualify for the fast break situation. The favorites beat them up the last time around. Well, I shouldn't say the favorites. The Pacers, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves all fall under this criteria with this 23-8. So, tricky little spot to toss out there. But this line had 73% of the bets and 80% of the cash on the OKC Thunder. Public's rolling right back to it. They moved it from 13.5 to 14.5. They don't think the Grizz can match up against this Thunder team. The line's gone from 230 to 229.5, sort of. It's still kind of juiced at 230. So really the big thing is you have 78% of the bets and 78% of the cash on the over. And it has not moved. OKC Thunder covered 8 straight games as a 10 or more point favorite if they came off a 15 or more point win. So they win big. They followed up and win big again. And they're doing it a whole bunch of times. They're outscoring teams 132 to 105. I mentioned this. 15-point wins or so, and you're coming back and you're firing off an 8-pack. Geez, 14-3-1 against the spread in the 18 games that it's happened this season. And this is where I think the reason that that's happened. Let's dissect what's going on with this OKC Thunder team. This, like look at when they played Cleveland. What were they really good at? Boxing out their big men, playing defensive basketball. And what do we have over there on? Well, we've got Ja Morant, of course. Elite as he may be. But he's going to have to start playing defensive basketball because OKC should go out there and get in front. They should be front runners again. Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey. I'll tell you what, I saw a friend of mine that all he does is prop bets. He was on the under for Edey today on all of his categories. He does not think highly of the Grizz in this situation. And it's because he specifically said one word is defense. OKC's defense. The Grizz offensively got to play better, of course, but zigzag theory in effect. I don't believe we talked about this. It doesn't really ring true in the NBA. I think what happens here is you got to play defense. You can't let these guys get out of control. The first half unders have been cashing at an alarming clip. 111.5. I double dipped. I took the first half under in this game, and I've got the full game as well at 230. So a double dip spot here. I expect defense. I expect slower pace. Probably a little contrarian to what the public's out there whacking away on because we're seeing that they're putting all their money's on OKC and all their money's on the over. I don't agree. OKC wants to get this thing down. They want to beat these boys down before they go into Memphis because it's tough to play in Memphis. Their goal's got to be win 2, go to Memphis, split them, come back home, try to work on your way of shutting the series down out there. But Memphis team total under 107.5. I like that look as well. I think it all falls in line with how this defense has got to play its positions and what they've got to do out there. I think this is just a great under spot. And we got 230 points to play with on it. I like this under. I'm going to take it. I'm going to run with it. The last game I was looking at on the NBA slot here was this Lakers game. The funny thing about this, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have an official spot. I'm leaning towards the Lakers. I know a lot of you guys like the Timberwolves. -5 has moved to -5.5. 51% of the bets, 53% of the cash have come in on the Lakers. And almost all the trends there's telling you got to get involved with the Lakers. But the problem is this lack of movement in the line is concerning me. Early in the week, the sharp respected bettors were taking the Lakers. 217.5 dropped 8 points. Ridiculous drop to 209.5 with 85% of the bets and 85% of the cash. Why? Well, probably has a lot to do with kind of what they just saw. Is there an overreaction here? I mean, the Lakers put up 95 points. They're going to have to go out there and play some damn defense. And it was the fast break points that killed them the last game. They got down early, and then true to National Basketball Association factors, they just stopped playing. The Timberwolves, of course, though, can be inconsistent. They have ripped off 4 straight wins. They beat Memphis on the road. In Memphis, mind you. Not that Memphis had a ton to play for. They go back home. They tune up Brooklyn. They tune up Utah. And they go into Los Angeles and they handle business. I don't think LeBron James and company lets the boys do it twice. I haven't gotten there officially yet. Look to Twitter to see if I do make any official adjustments on that game. But I double dipped that OKC under first half and full game. Kelly V says, holy heck, what a drop. Yeah, I said the same thing. What a freaking drop. That's going to be the way we put the bow on the show tonight, you guys. Getting her done under the wire here before 7 o'clock so you can get those bets in, get that money cash in, and get those comments on the post-production out there. We really appreciate all you guys coming and taking the time to do just that here. We're growing this thing, Sports Money Nation, one by one, comment by comment, thumbs up by thumbs up, winner by winner. See if we can't have a nice big board again tonight. Had a big night last night. Let's finish it up here, 2 in a row. And look for some of this content that's going to be released later on tonight. Big night in the content game. Justin McKelvey says 2-0 Nats. Let's go, you guys. Let's have ourselves an evening. Good luck to everybody on your bets. Shout out to my guy, Redbeard, with the gifted membership.